George Lopez. How are you, sir?
Good to see you, Rich.
Good to see you too. How's life? How's everything?
Under this situation, I wish that we were all back to our lives, but we understand that, that this takes precedence. But it's been interesting. I mean, I don't think I've had this time off since I started doing stand-up, really kind of 87. So it's been an interesting few months of deciding whether, when this is resolved and how, hopefully we get out of it without losing too many people, that if I would even go back to resuming a schedule that I had before. Because as you get older, you realize, do I really want to push this hard after accomplishing, pretty much everything I've wanted to do. I love stand-up so much, and in sports analogies, when somebody says, why are you doing stand-up? And if you say, would Muhammad Ali have fought if he could fight till 59? I mean, would Kareem have played if he could be sharp at 59? If you could fly, would you not fly? So, those things go through my mind when you think about, I've never really disconnected. And if I do disconnect, it's so tough to connect again. So, ring rust and situations and, there's never been a shortage of things to talk about, but I've enjoyed a little bit of the solitude.
Well, now that you're out, I guess, promoting this special was filmed at the Warfield Theater in San Francisco. When did you do this? At what point? When was
I did it last December, I think the 14th of December. And the Warfield, I'm a huge, nobody was a bigger historian of their craft than Mike Tyson. I mean, he knew every fight. Customato had him sitting in the room. He was looking at Jack Dempsey and every great fighter. He knew their attributes. He knew their weaknesses. And they even had the body, would yell out 5-3-1, and he'd throw these combinations and stuff. And the Warfield, with looking at Nirvana in there, Jerry Garcia's dressing room is the main dressing room, looking at Janis Joplin, looking at Jimi Hendrix, looking at Jerry Garcia, the Grateful Dead, and all the signatures you see on the wall there. They had closed for renovations, I believe, and then they opened up in 2007. And at 2007, they asked me to be the first person to open, and I did 2 shows. And Carlos Santana came to see me, I believe, one of those shows, and he sat in the audience. He's like, I want to get a feel of what it's like in the audience. And then after the show, when the lights come on, he was trying to get out. In the balcony, he looked down and saw that Carlos Santana was in the aisle. And instead of waiting to, run and take the stairs down, that dude jumped from the balcony about maybe 15 feet and landed at the feet of Carlos Santana to tell him how big a fan he was. And, they held him up to his feet. They're like, hey, bro, you don't have to miss it. Oh, this is such a huge fan. And then I was backstage going, what happened to Carlos? Well, some dude jumped out of the balcony and landed on his feet, and it tripped him out, and he ended up going home. He said to tell you that he loved the show.
I'll have to say, no patrons were harmed in the making of this.
No patrons were harmed. That's a pretty good drop, man. It was a pretty good drop. 15
wow, that is amazing.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.